In Montreal, when he played his key years in Major League Baseball, there was a lot of comparisons between him and Bob Gainey. Like quiet star, he wasn't a superstar, but he was a quiet star. Got the job done, and how we got him for a very prominent and popular Montreal Expo from the San Francisco Giants kind of gave us some momentum. We would have won the '81 World Series, and he would have been a big part of that. But factors, the Monday on Monday debacle, took that away. So today we're going to be talking about one of the most underrated players of all time. In the states, it's called the Alameda Rifle, but in Canada, you just plain Chris Speier. Now, Christopher Edward Speier, born in Alameda, California, he played Major League Baseball mostly as a shortstop for the Giants, and he was part of their NL championship team in the early '70s, and of course as the starter at SS for Montreal for several seasons. The native of San Francisco Bay Area City possessed a very strong arm during his days as an active player. Now, drafted by the Giants as the second overall pick in the first round of the 70 Major League Baseball selections, he played again 19 years in the major leagues for Montreal, San Francisco, Chicago, and briefly for St. Louis and Minnesota during the '84 campaign. In exchange of starting shortstops in one of the biggest trades in Expos history, he was sent to the Giants for Tim Foley. He was traded from the Giants to Montreal for Tim Foley in late April '77. This, of course, the Olympic Stadium debut season. Now, he had a 246 batting average in his career and a 970 fielding percentage. His overall playing strengths were his solid fielding and selective eye at the plate. He was also named the NL All-Star team from '72 to '74 as a member of the Giants. He won the '87 Willie Mack Award for his spirit of leadership during his second series of seasons with the Giants. Now, he hit for the cycle twice in his major league career. On July 20th, '78, as a member of the Expos in a 7-3 victory over the Braves at Montreal, and nearly 10 years later on July 9th, '88, as a member of the Giants in a 21-2 rout of the St. Louis Cardinals at Candlestick Park. Now, we're going to go over his playing statistics because his managerial roles were quite interesting because he just seemed to always have a jersey on someplace. So let's look at the career stats again. 1,759 hits, only 112 home runs, but a 246 average. Now, his campaigns in San Francisco, the initial rookie year was tremendous. 8 home runs, 46 RBIs, batting .235. Very consistent with San Francisco, 71, 71, 53, 69, and 40 runs batted in. Now, when he came over to Montreal, he didn't put as much of an RBI campaign as was expected, but still was solid. 1978, a very good season, 5 home runs, 51 RBIs, hitting .251. Now, in the postseason year of '81, he hit .225 with 25 RBIs. Now, his '82 season for many was his most consistent with Montreal, 7 home runs, 60 RBIs. Now, eventually, he found his way out of Montreal with St. Louis in the '84 campaign, as well as Minnesota. Then with Chicago Cubs in '85, and back with San Francisco for 2 solid seasons, part of a third. Now, his big years in Montreal, again, led to 20 to 29 home runs, 255 RBIs, 710 hits. Of course, with San Francisco, he had 924 hits. And not too many players of the modern era would have 700 plus hits with 2 different teams playing shortstop for many years as he did. Now, the 246 average was basically 10 or 15 points above where most shortstops were hitting at the time because he was hitting, number 7 or number 8. Now, the postseason numbers didn't tell the whole story, but we're going to go ahead. Pittsburgh, it was a rough series for the Giants. He had a great postseason, hitting .357. But word really stand out for a lot of people. He was a key player that helped Montreal beat the Phillies in 5 games. He had 3 RBIs in the series, hitting .400. His bat tailed off against the Dodgers, and he only had 3 hits in 16 at-bats. Now, the fielding tells a story. He was a career .970 fielder, and most of his time at second base, he was one of the best of his era, because he did play second base every once in a while. Now, he did play some first base, but He was, like I said, a big infielder. Now, talking about Speier's post playing career, very respected coach. He was third base coach for the Brewers in 2000, the third base coach for Arizona in 2001. He's a bench coach for Oakland in '04, third base coach for Chicago '05-06. He was from '08 to 13. He was the Reds bench coach, and I was also interim third base coach when Mark Berry was receiving treatment for throat cancer. Now, ironically, he was the bench coach for the Nationals, the new name of the Expos, for 2 years, 16 and 17, and he was the Houston Astros quality control coach in 2020. He was also coach with the World Series champion Diamondbacks in 2001, and again, the third base coach for the Cubs in some of the key years in the mid 2000s. Now, Speier was signed by the Reds again as the infield coach and bench coach. He also filled in when manager Dusty Baker was hospitalized in Chicago in September 2012. This is when they clinched the playoff berth. He was replaced as the bench coach by Jay Bell when Baker was fired, but stayed on as a special assistant to GM Wal Giacchetti. Now, when Baker became manager of the Nationals for the 16th season, again, Speier followed him, and when his contract expired, it was after the 17 seasons. Now, again, 185 games at third base, 138 games at second base, and 2 games at first base. Now, born and raised, I guess, in the beautiful community of Alameda, it's also the hometown of Willie Stargell, Dontrell Willis, and Jimmy Rollins. He graduated from Alameda High School. Now, Speier is the father of former MLB relief pitcher Justin Speier and the uncle of Gabe Speier. Now, Chris converted to Catholicism after meeting his now ex-wife and became a noted activist in the pro-life movement. In '93, he was also principal of the religious Ville de Maria Academy in Scottsdale, Arizona. The school was not accredited by the state, nor was it affiliated with the local diocese, but he's always been strong in his faith work on many levels. Now, I take what Chris, if you would say, who was the most popular shortstop or infielder? Was it Alfredo Griffin or Chris Speier? Well, obviously Griffin was he steal more bases and stuff, but you need a steady player, as steady as Gary Carter was in the Expos. Chris Speier was steady like that. But like I said, he didn't have an opportunity to drive in many runs, because once he got down to 7 to 8 in the lineup, Dawson would have brought him home, or Parrish, or Carter, or Valentine, or whatever. But like I said, a solid number 7 hitter from Montreal. I miss those days, ladies and gentlemen, because you get Bob Gainey on a Saturday night, you get Speier for the afternoon game. It's like they were interchangeable. Like I said, he was the Bob Gainey of the Montreal Canadiens. Never really said much, but got it done. And I remember it was a play that I think the Phillies announcer said, how you get Chris Speier mad, because I guess someone came up with the spikes and he kind of tapped the guy in the bum. I think it was one of the Phillies players. It might have been Larry Bow. I could be wrong. And he said, this guy is like, he's squeaky clean. A very spiritual guy too. You could tell. He's very introspective. I never saw him say a bad word about anyone, because he was never interviewed. It's like, hey, it's Chris Speier. Every day, the number 7. You might as well get a photocopy and put him in number 7 for every contest. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the story. To me, one of the stars of the Montreal Expos, a top 40 Montreal Expo of all time. If you like what we're doing here with our channel, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And don't forget, requests are always appreciated and always highly considered.